Well, hello there. So I want to talk a little bit about budgets and the fact that they've being cut over and over and over again in higher education. Um, and a lot of these are because they're linked to state budgets and whatnot. But one of the things, so EDUCAUSE, anyone who works in higher education, you usually knows a little bit about EDUCAUSE. Um, they are, they say that the voice for higher education technology community. So, um, but they noticed that they had a median IT budget decrease of 10%, and quite a few colleges and universities were being affected. So, and I'll link to all articles down below. Um, then we go to the AP, and we have colleges, or even, and this is this year, cutting majors and slashing programs because really it's budget. So, um, trying to be able to do more with less. So one of the ways that I do this in my classes is we virtualize. So we could have the students like run things in VMware or Oracle VirtualBox or whatever flavor of virtualization that you use, or there's also containerization. So Podman in Linux, um, and stuff, and adding Kubernetes is whatnot with. But there are options. The problem is with those virtualization options is it requires the students to bring beefier and beefier systems. You can't do virtualization or containers on a Chromebook, for example. You just don't have the memory and compute capacity to be able to do it. So one of the things that we can do is let's move things to the cloud. With moving it to the cloud, there's some benefits that most people don't include in their calculations of the total cost of ownership. So, for example, this talks about the infrastructure management and the maintenance activities. So you have to maintain VMware. You have to maintain all the operating systems on top of it. With containers, you also have to maintain that. Cloud computing, you can shift a lot of that. Um, so once again, I'm going to link to all these down below. If we look here, we can see that some people are even putting virtual reality in the classroom to try and do with this. But I don't know if that is the best route to go. It depends. If possible, I would prefer that we stick with something that the students can take with them and stay with experiential learning. Um, so even though virtual reality is something you can do, I wonder if you really should do it. And if we go down to the bottom of this article, and once again, I'll link to all this down below. I really like how one of the things that they do is summing up here. Um, I, for one, with the experiential side of things, before I get into this last little bit, I like to think about what will they be able to use what will they be able to take with them? What tools and technology will they also be using in the workforce? Um, but when they do mention that in the end, it should not be about the most popular product or even the necessity of the technology itself, but the way to help students of all ages and levels learn. Um, so, as things are rapidly changing and we're trying to cut costs and things like that, um, when we make decisions, we should be thinking about not only just not what's popular per se, but what's going to help the students learn. And I will add what is most valuable long term for them to learn. So, anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to continue on because I want to talk a little more in depth about some of the choices that I've made in how I do labs in my classes. So, anyway, we'll see you in the next video.